Good evening, and welcome to the Midnight Fire. Tonight, we dim the lights and venture into a place of history, culture, and silence. But as we all know, silence can be deceiving. Tonight's story is about a night at the museum, where the past refuses to stay put. My name is Leo, and I used to be a night guard at the Grand Antiquities Museum. Sounds like a pretty cushy gig, right? Walk around, check the locks, make sure no one's trying to pocket a priceless artifact. For the first few months, it was exactly that. Boring, even. I'd listen to podcasts, read books, and count down the hours until dawn. The most exciting thing that happened was a faulty fire alarm. But then came the new exhibit, Echoes of the Condemned. It was a special collection on loan, focusing on items from infamous historical prisons and execution sites. Guillotine blades, iron maidens, knotted hangman's ropes. Morbid stuff. The centerpiece was a series of wax figures depicting notorious inmates. They were unnervingly realistic, their glass eyes seeming to follow you as you walked by. The air in that wing of the museum grew heavy, colder, as if the sorrow and pain of the objects had seeped into the very walls. My unease started subtly. I'd be on my patrol, walking down the long, marbled halls, and I'd hear a faint whisper carried on the air conditioning. I dismiss it as the building settling, my mind playing tricks on me in the dead of night. Then came the shadows. I'd catch a flicker of movement at the edge of my vision, a dark shape darting behind a towering dinosaur skeleton. When I'd shine my flashlight, there was never anything there. Just the cold, still bones of a creature dead for millions of years. One night, things escalated. I was in the security office, watching the monitors. The camera for the Echoes of the Condemned exhibit was notoriously grainy. As I was taking a sip of lukewarm coffee, I saw it. One of the wax figures, a man known as the Silent Judge, had moved. Its head, which was supposed to be facing forward, was now tilted, looking directly at the camera. My heart hammered against my ribs. I rewound the footage. Nothing. It was in its original position. I told myself I was just sleep-deprived, that my eyes were playing tricks on me. But I couldn't shake the feeling. I decided to do an extra patrol through that wing, just to set my mind at ease. The silence in the exhibit hall was different this time. It wasn't empty, it was watchful. I walked past the glass cases, my footsteps echoing unnaturally loud. I approached the wax figures. They stood there, frozen in their tragic poses. The Silent Judge was staring straight ahead, just as he was supposed to. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. "Get a grip, Leo," I muttered to myself. As I turned to leave, I heard a soft, scraping sound behind me. I froze. It was the sound of wax dragging on polished wood. Slowly, I turned back. The Silent Judge was no longer on its platform. It was standing in the middle of the aisle, a few feet closer to me. Its painted face was tilted in that same unnatural way I saw on the monitor, and its glass eyes seemed to bore right through me. Panic seized me. I scrambled for my radio, my fingers fumbling. "Security to base, we have a situation in the West Wing." My voice was a choked whisper. The dispatcher's crackled reply was barely audible. "Leo, what's going on? Your mic is cutting out." Before I could answer, I heard another sound. A low chuckle that seemed to come from all around me. It was deep and raspy, like a rusty hinge. I backed away slowly, my flashlight beam trembling. The light caught the other wax figures. Their heads had all turned. Every single one of them was now facing me. The woman in the tattered dress, the man in chains, the child with the vacant stare. Their frozen, painted smiles seemed to stretch into menacing grins. The air grew impossibly cold, and I could see my own breath misting in front of me. Then, they began to move. It wasn't a fluid, human motion. It was jerky and horrifying, like puppets being pulled by unseen strings. Their wax limbs creaked and groaned as they stepped off their platforms, their glass eyes fixed on me. I didn't scream. I couldn't. The sound was trapped in my throat, and not of pure terror. I turned and ran. I sprinted through the darkened halls, the slapping of my shoes on the marble floor mingling with the grotesque scraping and shuffling sounds behind me. I didn't dare look back. I could feel their presence, a wave of cold malice chasing me. I passed the Egyptian exhibit, and I swear I saw the sarcophagi lids trembling. I ran past the Hall of Ancient Warfare, and the empty suits of armor seemed to shift, their metal helmets turning to watch me pass. The entire museum was waking up, and it was not friendly. I finally burst into the main lobby, fumbling for my keys to unlock the massive front doors. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely fit the key into the lock. The scraping sound was getting closer, punctuated by that horrible, dry chuckle. I glanced over my shoulder. The silent judge was at the end of the hall, its pace unnervingly steady. It raised a wax hand and pointed a single, pale finger at me. The lock finally clicked. I threw the heavy oak doors open and stumbled out into the cool night air, gasping for breath. I didn't stop running until I was blocks away. I never went back. I called my supervisor from a payphone and told him I quit. I didn't give him a reason. What could I say? That the museum's exhibits were trying to kill me? He'd have thought I was crazy. Maybe I was. Maybe it was all a waking nightmare brought on by exhaustion and solitude. But sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet, I can still hear it. That soft, scraping sound. And that low, raspy chuckle. I've learned that some objects aren't just objects. They hold echoes of the past, echoes of pain and suffering. And sometimes, those echoes want to be heard. They want to be felt. They want to reach out from the past and touch the living. So the next time you visit a museum, as you walk among the relics of history, just remember, you may be looking at the past, but the past might just be looking back at you. Thank you for listening to The Midnight Fire. Turn off the lights, if you dare, and join us again next time for another story from the shadows. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Stay safe, and whatever you do, don't look behind you. Good night.